Watawea! Hi, my name is Nathan Storm and this is Remote Island Junkies. This is our first episode. We're going to visit Norfolk Island in the South Pacific. It's an island that belongs to the Commonwealth of Australia, and it lies between Australia and New Zealand. Norfolk is a really great tourist destination for all sorts of activities. If you like a moderate climate, not too hot, not cold, and it's got great water sports like scuba diving, surfing, or just walking on the island. Great, it's a modern infrastructure there on Norfolk, and there's plenty of accommodations and modern technology to meet any tourist needs, and it's also remote enough to meet any Remote Island Junkies needs. It's got a fascinating background history. The inhabitants, about half of them, are descended from the mutineers on the HMS Bounty, that you may recall. Several movies have been made about this, the mutiny on the Bounty. This happened in 1789, and after these English sailors had experienced the thrills of Tahiti in the South Pacific, they decided they wanted to stay, and they took their Tahitian brides after pushing off the overbearing captain. So they said into a lifeboat with a few loyal crew members. These mutineers took their ship and found an island called, not Norfolk, but Pitcairn Island. And Pitcairn proved to be a very small place for these people, because despite a high murder rate, they outgrew it. They were overpopulating it, and just in time they were kind of rediscovered by the British a few decades later. The descendants, not the original mutineers, they would have been hung. And the British said, we can take you to an island called Norfolk. It's larger, and we can basically, you can have a little more contact with the empire and its benefits on Norfolk. By benefits, of course, I mean accommodation. They wouldn't starve. In other words, they were going to starve on Pitcairn. So the Pitcairn Islanders became Norfolk Islanders, and their language went from being known as Pitcairn to Norfolk, which is Norfuk. And it's a combination of English and Tahitian, and a lot of colloquialisms due to its isolation. Of course, it's it's an incredibly isolated place. Even Norfolk's very isolated compared to Australia, and but it is, of course, less isolated than Pitcairn, and quite a bit larger too. It's I think Pitcairn's a couple square miles. Norfolk's about 14 square miles, which is about 36 square kilometers. Oh yeah, by the way, there are still some Pitcairn inhabitants. Some of them actually returned. They said they like Pitcairn better. They felt more comfortable there. So a few of them actually returned back to Pitcairn after they had been on Norfolk for a while. So let's back to Norfolk, and back to today on Norfolk. What's happening in Norfolk today besides just a really amazing, moderate, low impact kind of remote getaway to enjoy weather and walks around on a rather rural island? Well, today, if you want to find some of the finest jazz in the world, you will go to Norfolk Island in December. Norfolk has an annual jazz festival. It's about 3-day event, and it's got some great acts that during those 3 days, and they change every year. Check it out. Down below I'm gonna put some links, and the links will be about accommodations in Norfolk. There'll be how to get to Norfolk, the best island, the best airlines, what you need to do is terms of it's not exactly the same as going to Australia, because you got to fill out a couple more documents, and then also links, maybe some restaurants. I'm not sure what I'll put on there down there actually yet, but check it out, and we're gonna have more islands after this. If you like this video, remember, don't be too hard. This is the first one. It's gonna get better, I promise. And we're gonna have more islands. We're gonna chat with people on the islands, Skype them or however, and guys can join in and find out, like, you know, there's St. Helens, there's Tristan da Cunha, there's Bovat Island. Not too many inhabitants there though. There's lots and lots of islands that we're going to talk about in the coming months. Again, if you like this video, with the caveat that it's the first one, and you like the idea, hit subscribe please, and then see you next time. All right, you have a good one. Bye.